Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the farm. We're back at it bright and early, putting the hammer down on soybean harvest. Except for it's not exactly a sledgehammer or a construction hammer or a mallet. It's more like a children's rubber play toy. Because we're only running one combine, our S780 is still dead in the water up north. The service techs from Alliance Tractor are up there taking a look at it. Hopefully it's something minor, maybe a valve, maybe a sensor we missed, and they can get it done without any kind of major repairs. Not holding my breath on that. I am optimistic that we're going to cover some acres today, even if it's just with one machine. I'm also pretty pumped because we have a harvesting expert from John Deere here today, and maybe he'll solve our problems. Before we get started though, everyone make sure you like the video and leave a comment down below. It is one of the cheapest and easiest ways that you can support the channel. Every time you interact with the video, it helps me out a ton, and I'm greatly appreciative of all your support. Let's get to work. Obviously, I mentioned the cheap and easy ways to support the channel, but I'm very excited to announce that my merchandise is finally available with Farm Focused. Really glad to partner with them on this venture because they support so many other YouTube creators. I think it's a great opportunity for me, and we'll have great products to provide all of you who want to purchase some merchandise from the channel. So everyone go check those out. The shirts are pretty sweet. My main goal was to produce gear that was awesome to wear, but also represented the channel. So go check it out, farmfocus.com. I'll drop a link in here somewhere. It looks like at some point yesterday, my dad got the 735 FD off of the S780 combine. I mentioned when we unloaded the grain tank that some of the auxiliary hydraulic functions are still fully operational. It's the movement that's an issue, which is what makes this so impressive, because unhooking a head cart without being able to move the combine is quite the feat. I would have loved to have been a bird circling in the air and seen how this went down. Not only is getting the head away from the combine hard, it's pretty challenging to back an all-wheel steer head cart into the exact spot you need to be to get the head off. Dad wanted me to pick him up and take him to our field up north where the S780 is, which is a very, very good sign. I hate to start the morning out with some disappointment, but I misunderstood, and we are not in fact going to the S780. We're moving to another field at the S670. He looks like a giant compared to the pickup truck right here. Look at him. Like a little toy truck. At least there are some positives to the start of today. The sun was shining, not a cloud in the sky, wind's blowing, and we have a high of 90 degrees, which means we're going to have a lot of soybeans to cut. There's next to no dew on the ground. My shoes are completely dry. We're only gonna have one combine to run though, so even if we have a lot of beans to cut, we're gonna be moving at a snail's pace. Here comes Old Faithful. Getting the head out of the field and off the road so Dad can get out of there with the combine, and I'm going to jog back to the grain cart and load Chris. Plenty of oil. Be a breach of my operating contracts here if I told you where we kept our keys. Those beans will have to be harvested at a later date. They're too wet. No reason to sit here and watch them dry. Dump this truck and we're on to the next field. To the next field we go. This is a shortcut to the back side of the farm we're headed to. It is much longer though than going up by our actual main farm. We have to come from the south because we hook up on the left side, and there's no place at the farm we're headed to hook up on the other side of the road. So if I came from the north, the hookup would be on the wrong side of the road for us to get the combine on at any point. So, taking a couple extra miles for convenience. Even our 3 9s behind home look like they would cut today. If not right now, by afternoon to evening, they'd probably be testing 12 or 11%. This tight turn right here is exactly where all-wheel steer carts shine. I won't hurt a single bit of crop. Didn't even touch a soybean there. It might just be a fair trade-off to have a little bit of dogtailing going down the road for the ability to get into very tight places. Here's our stop. Easy! Is it not on all the way? It looks good Loading our first Extend Flex beans. Around 14%. Which isn't too bad for 9 o'clock in the morning. They're also going in the bin, so it's almost a green light. Around 15% now, so picking up a little bit of moisture. Looks like 100 bushel lean. I keep making the mistake of saying that these are 3/8 XF1s. They are 3/7s. Been doing that all season, so I want to get that right. We gave it about 45 minutes, came back out here. These soybeans have dried off about 0.5%. They're running 13 to 14, which is perfect to be putting them in our bin. However, they're running a little tough. Our special guest is here, Ron from Hartung Family Farms, also a combine expert for John Deere. He's evaluating our work.
Now, one butter bean, and that's about it.
We get them all out of the pods?
Yeah.
I missed one there. The problem is sometimes these soybean plants will grow so low to the ground that you can't even get them all off the plant. There's some butter beans.
Getting them off though, that's as good for this early. So you got, that's even a butter bean too. It's hard to get.
Yeah, that's a butter bean.
Yeah. Honestly, you're doing pretty good.
They're worth more wet than they are dry. Few guaranteed things in life: death, taxes, and Katie plugging the draper. Ron's already improving our operation, giving combine drivers tips. He knows a lot more about them than we do. The boss must be bored. He brought the ripper to the field. Hopefully this tractor has enough power.
Would you say that's it there?
Yeah.
What is that?
I'd say that's probably 10 inches.
You got $1? That's 12 inches.
We put it in the ground about 1 inch deeper, and we pinned the wings down to make it rigid. I don't think we even worked that 620 on that first 100 foot. My dad and Ron are getting that 620 and the inline ripper tuned up. Duty calls for me though. Combine's about full. Beans look pretty green there. They still running decent?
No, they're like 12.5 to 13.
What's the yield monitor showing?
90.
There's a little more disturbance out here than I was expecting. Fertilizer guy is gonna love his ride out here spreading our dry stuff. Bump, 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 bump. How's it looking, Ron?
Could go a little deeper, but it's not bad.
Do you want to go deeper?
So you can. That's what you want to see. Is you want to see that basically lifting up and breaking.
Oh yeah, that looks a lot better. That's what. So we want to go deep enough that we're disturbing the soil less.
Exactly. So you could go. You could take off that spacer, because this is what ideally this is what you want it to look like.
Yeah, because that's what I was envisioning. That's a lot rougher than I was thinking.
Right. Which, I mean, as he gets more speed, you can kind of see it wants to ride up a little.
Yeah. So
I would go. You can almost take that spacer off and then try it at that speed. See it like this, but then like the not like this, the normal running and everything. You'll have some clumps and everything which settle down in the winter, but this I'm not used to seeing it rip up the ground like that.
yeah, that's like a ripper went through there.
Right.
I don't mind sitting inside this 9620R. It's kind of luxurious. It looks a little bit better, but like he just got started there. This is what we're going for right here, is low disturbance.
Right.
It's also our first time running it, and it may be a tad bit wet. That tractor's barely even working. Well, Dad doesn't believe in the economy modes. It's full throttle.
Full
Even though
send.
your optimal torque is not at full throttle.
Oh, like 17?
It's like 17 or 18 for that. Wow. We about need a 13 shank ripper on that thing. When the combine's moving slow, that's a good sign. We're unloading at 3.5 miles an hour, which is over 15% slower than we were running yesterday. Does that mean these beans are 15% higher yielding? Not sure that that equation works out every time. Probably some correlation. Another one of those pesky tile holes that we fixed 5 times. It's grown a little bit. Ron, if you get sucked down, I'm not getting you.
This ain't that bad. I don't know what you're talking about.
You've only got about 150 yards to go and it dumps out.
I bet she can combine right over me. I can just duck down. She wouldn't even know.
We did that to a possum yesterday. It didn't work well for the possum. That's an Instagram plant.
That is one heck of a seed.
Totally not right next to the tile hole. All of these Extend Flex beans look really good through here. I don't know, those enlist beans are gonna have a hard time competing with these. That'll be an after harvest season project.
Be an Andy project.
Yep, only one little sliver left. It has been a long afternoon in this small field.
Mainly because of the company you had in the cab. Pile's pretty even. A little bit shaded to the left.
Yeah, hey, when it's the last truck of the field, you make it fit. I just completed the calculations on those Asgrow 37 XF1 soybeans, and I am very impressed. Over the scales, they made 84 and change. 84 bushels an acre. That is over a 4 bushel advantage on our best field of the year so far. This was a very good location given the amount of rainfall we had. It drains well, so I do think that helped it. Extend Flex beans though, they look promising. Oh man, in our short cool spell, I'd forgotten what road oil and rocks were like. It's 90 degrees outside today and they're picking up. We're just moving a half mile up the road here. Dad's opening up some 3.9 Pioneer Extend soybeans. We're a little bit concerned about these with disease, pressure, and standability. Hopefully the yield hangs in there. Open her up. The real reason those beans yielded so high was this person climbing into the tractor right now. Old Ronald. Last time he came to visit, last season, we picked our best yielding corn of the year, and it was almost 250 bushels an acre. And now we have 84 bushel an acre beans. Ron, we may have to hire you full time. I said that last year.
85, make me sound better.
Yep.
Round up.
We round up here when it matters, and round down when it doesn't. These beans are so green, we want to make sure we're getting them all.
Good, there's one.
That's a souvenir from Dole Farms, Ron. Take it home, I'll sign it. My gift.
Andy, look over there.
That's a good place for it. Property line's over there about a half mile, Ron. Just run it down there, throw it over on the neighbor, we'll be done with it.
Okay, you gotta, I'll go throw it in the timber. You gotta come pick me up though.
Okay. Even with the greenish stems, these beans are testing 12% right now. Looks can be very misleading. Look at how easily those pods break open and the beans come out. You gotta go when they're ready, folks. You can't wait for them to look perfect. Oh, that's a fat bean. Look how big that bean is. I've got some updates on our S780 combine that's dead in the water up to the north. And unfortunately, it's not good news. The dealership is fairly certain that the main hydrostatic pump or one of the big hydraulic pumps on the pump stack has gone bad, meaning that it will need towed into town on a flatbed trailer. They'll have to order the part, they'll have to get the combine on the trailer, take it in. Don't think they're gonna get to it today, which is not great. And to top it all off, they don't have a loaner combine for us to run. By no means am I complaining about our local dealership at all. There's no contractual obligation when you buy a new combine to be provided a replacement should the new combine go down. We just coincidentally happen to be the last one in line. They're all spoken for with other problems. I heard a new 780 down at the South blew an engine, so that one got a replacement. And we're just running one combine. 220 acre field right here, maybe running 12 acres an hour. We'll be here for at least 2 to 2.5 days. Slow rolling, gonna keep on keeping on. I'm not gonna lie though, I am a little heartbroken because we're cutting right behind our main farmstead, one of my favorite places to get drone shots. I wish we had both combines running. It'd be epic with the golden hour sunset. Not gonna happen. Maybe tomorrow, if we're lucky, one will just magically appear here at our field. Can you tell where on this farm we need to install a new terrace system? A lot of washing through there. It means a lot of water volume is picking up speed and cutting into the ground. We're losing topsoil, and it's a heck of a ride in the combine and the grain cart. Oh, man, that's rough. Jeez. At least I'm not in a hurry. One of the nicest parts about farming, literally a stone's throw away from the main farm, you can just run right down the road and get lunch. And by lunch, I mean dinner because it's 5:30 right now, so we'll get a little hungry. It's just another one of those silver linings of only running one combine. Got a lot of time to kill. My patent is still pending on this design, but cereal in a cup is the way to go. Convenient and tasty. I wouldn't be surprised after this start to the harvest season if I didn't have more gray hairs. It's been rough to say the least. I guess we just need to focus on the positive till things improve. It's beautiful outside. All the combines in the county seem to be running right now. We just cut our best beans of the season, possibly our best of the entire season. And no other complaints. We got a second combine running with no problems. I should not have said that. Piston's probably gonna go out the top of the block right now. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. Regardless though, guess we're just gonna persevere. Not to mention, it's also almost golden hour. Really makes you realize when you need to clean your windows. Probably put that on my list to do tomorrow and all my time waiting. Now that right there is a sunset. Wow. You're only gonna see that in the Midwest during harvest season. Just something special about it. And there's a pretty full load of beans as well at the end of the night. Darkness is rapidly approaching us at this point. The beans are running 10.5 to 11%, which is extremely surprising for me, being that they are 3.9 beans, a later season bean for us. It is getting to the point where our bin that is allocated to soybeans at the farm is relatively close to full. Because of that, we're starting to send more trucks to the elevator. We could load it into corn bins, but I have a feeling we're gonna need a lot of storage for our corn crop. That being said, we usually try to leave ourselves about 2% wiggle room for how dry the beans are in the truck. If they're any higher than 11 or 11.5, we don't really want to risk putting them on there because they will pick up moisture overnight. They'll saturate a little bit, and next thing you know, first thing in the morning, 12 or 13% beans could be 14 or 15%. We're going to push into the night until either the soybeans pick up too much moisture or they're way too tough to harvest. If they won't feed through the combine efficiently, there's no reason to even mess with it. Seeing the moisture level on these soybeans right now and that we have a hot and dry forecast for the next 5 days, I will definitely say that not having 2 combines is going to cost us money. We will be cutting dry soybeans. An unfortunate reality. We're getting to the point in the night where it can become very sketchy to unload the grain cart. I usually just dump until the pile's about at the tarp bow and move along. Not to mention I'm unloading in reverse right now, which is not optimal. These screens are nearly blinding at night. My hack is to go to display settings and turn them all the way down. And now I can see. Combining at night is so cool. Oh man, that's soybean harvest summarized in one sentence or a couple of words and a noise. They don't have their amber beacon system on, so there's no way for me to tell at night how full the grain tank is. Unless of course the auger comes out and leaves a light. It's not near as bright to my eyes as it is on the camera. Got the least amount of lights possible to protect my dad's very sensitive eyes. Guess that's just an old age thing. Dumping at night. It's actually more of like a twilight time. Once I pulled out of the way, then I hit the big guns. Bam! We light it up. Once the sun sets and the beans cause the drapers to plug up, usually a 3 strikes and you're out policy. If you can't make it through one pass without dragging up multiple times, you might as well quit for the night. And we're already at 2 on this pass, and we barely even gone 50 feet. When the cutting gets tough, you really got to crank up the hydroflex pressure on the draper. Essentially what that is how much weight is put down against the front of the head. It has a drastic effect on how well the flex draper hugs against the ground versus when it can be rigid. The higher the pressure is, the more rigid it is, and the higher it cuts. The lower it is, the smoother and lower it cuts, but the more chance of dragging up. The dust is really starting to die down on the combine, which is not a good sign for trying to fill the rest of this grain cart. The moisture seems to be holding at an appropriate level where we're not really concerned about leaving it on overnight. If the wind keeps blowing, we may be able to finish it. If it dies down anymore, probably gonna have to pull the plug. Talk about a pretty peaceful evening. 70 degrees outside, nice little breeze. You get to listen to the groan of the combine rolling through the field. The only way you could really beat it is if I could hear the sound of 2 combines groaning right now. The 670 is working right now. That 9 liter is howling. 13.5 on that 780 out here. 80 to 90 bushel optimal moisture beans. Tough to cut. It's asking a lot out of it. I don't know who secured this, but they didn't secure much. Much better. Can't really afford to have that fall off. We very well may need it. I'm pretty good during the day. What happens after dark though, that doesn't really count. 48,000 on the cart.
Stop at the end, Andy, and I'll finish this little bit again.
That ought to do it. 10-4. It's my favorite time of day. It's quitting time. Boop, boop. Heading out to the middle of the field so people don't mess with our equipment. All right, everyone, we're shutting it down for the night. Harvest is certainly moving at a snail's pace, or at least it seems like it. Some progress is better than no progress, so we'll take what we can get. I think that is more than enough farming for one video. Before we go, everyone make sure you go check out the merch on farmfocus.com. Put the link down below. I appreciate you all tuning in. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more, and comment down below if you have any questions. You know I love to talk about farming. Have a great day, everyone. Peace!